So the other day I heard a beautiful quote. Do not compare yourself to others. If you do so, you are insulting yourself. Beautiful, powerful, wise. The mastermind behind the quote? Adolf Hitler. What is wrong with you? How could you like that quote? And wasn't this supposed to be about this controversial guy, not this controversial guy? It is. It's really about both. And it's about him and her and them and anyone else who's ever had an opinion about anything at all, including you and me. But it all started with this guy. And watching his story unfold taught me something really valuable about any human being's quest for self-improvement. Something that we absolutely need in this world full of opposing ideas and beliefs, all these ideologies, radical thoughts, and lies. Let me show you. For most people, Andrew Tate came into our awareness through lots of controversial clips that we found on TikTok, Instagram Reels.
Women should clean. So when you walk into a house and you see mess, why is your lazy not doing the right thing and start picking and cleaning up? Boom in her face and then grip her up by the neck. Like, shut up!
How can you watch this and not think, wow, this dude is trouble? This is the guy that, man, please let my daughter never bring a man home like this. If you watch any of his stuff, read the comments on it, you can see this guy's got a cult following. He's got tons of radical thoughts and ideas. And most of all, he's got a lot of people that hate him. Who was this man? He was born in America until his parents split up. Then he moved to the UK in his teenage years, thus the strange accent.
Those are my duties to God.
He became a kickboxer. He did really well, became a world champion, and from there he started a webcam business pimping out girls virtually, and as pimps do, he made some cash. Now he has an online subscription-based course called Hustler University where he teaches you how to make money, and from that he has blown up his net worth to an alleged $350 million plus. Most people don't even care to know who this guy is. They see one clip of Andrew Tate and it's like, get this guy out of my face, I'm done. But there is a small subculture out there called the Red Pill community that would say, hey, this is our guy. But most people, including myself, would say this is definitely not our guy, especially now since he's in the midst of a very serious legal situation. But a while back I was sent a video from a buddy who said, hey man, you gotta watch this video. Pretty much it was a live stream between Andrew Tate and a guy named Aiden Ross. Now Aiden Ross, for some context, is just a young streamer who's living in LA, living the fast life. He's got tons of pretty girls around him, indulging in lots of vices that you would imagine for a young dude with lots of money in LA. And ultimately he just needed some guidance on how to be a man, and so Andrew Tate gave him just that.
You're letting other people control your mind, letting them
distraction.
So I ended up watching the entire thing. It's about 45 minutes. And Andrew Tate, he actually taught me some powerful nuggets. For example, he talks constantly about ancestry and bloodline, meaning your future kids.
Your ancestors did all that struggling to survive, hunting and gathering, avoiding enemies, anything it took, all the crap they went through just for you to be born so you could smoke weed and jack off. That's what your ancestors died for. That's what they worked so hard for. That's who you are. That's the end of your bloodline. It's shameful.
My own great-grandmother's husband died when she had like 6 or 7 kids. She had to take care of a farm on her own. She got ran over by a wagon, and one time she knocked out a pedophile with a cast iron skillet. And so to hear Andrew Tate put it in terms of ancestors and bloodlines, people that went through hell to get me to where I am today, just so that I could play League of Legends for 15 years or whatever it was, watch a bunch of porn, sit in the dark at 3 a.m. binging Always Sunny in Philadelphia, how disgusted would they be to see all their sacrifice produced this? So yeah, for about 3 weeks after that, I went to the gym consistently, filled with a sense of purpose that, hey, all my ancestors, all the people that came before me, they need to have a descendant that they can be proud of. And it was all from a line from Andrew Tate, the king of toxic masculinity. And listen to this.
You're comfortable, right?
I am.
If you were born 100 years ago and it was the 1920s, you'd be in some ditch in northern France, living in the mud, hoping not to get killed by a random sniper in some war you barely understand for 4 years. Then you'd come home and hope your wife hasn't been bombed.
Yo!
You understand? The world has become exceptionally easy for a lot of men. It used to be a different place. Most men were cannon fodder. Most of us would have ended up in wars, dying for no reason. So because we don't have to do that, men think it's okay to just become comfortable now. You're not supposed to be comfortable. You were never evolved to be comfortable. You're supposed to be uncomfortable.
Right.
And if you make yourself uncomfortable constructively, it's very easy to be anything you want.
I mean, wow, as a red-blooded man, how can you not listen to that and not feel a sense of just wanting to be better? Just amazing mindsets. But then in the very same speech, there's stuff like this.
I'm gonna run the most powerful closed circuit organization on the planet. It's gonna be mine, and I'm gonna conquer Earth. And I'm gonna have 20 sons from 10 supermodels, and I'm gonna die. And there's gonna be 20 Andrew Tates watching my old videos, continuing the legacy.
And this.
That's the line. You overstepped the line. Goodbye. I can love a and ignore her texts. Watch me.
And here's where I'm torn. On the one hand, I'm inspired. After watching something like that, I feel uplifted. I want to be better. And on the other hand, my wife is a treasure. She's sacred. She's literally my queen, my goddess. And so you have this guy that's inspiring me to be a better man, but at the same time, talking about and treating women like they're cattle. As of today, as I'm filming this guy just got charged for rape and human trafficking. If he's guilty, I say castrate him at the very least. But where does that leave the rest of us? Should I disregard the very, very real feelings of inspiration I received from listening to his video? Should I burn it all now that we know what kind of guy he is? When I first had the idea for this video, this was way before he even went to prison. Now I'm really forced to ask myself, is what this guy teaches worth listening to? And that is the Andrew Tate dilemma. And here's where I land. Even way back then, when the video was first sent to me by my friend, my first instinct was to reject it. But out of curiosity, I ended up watching it, and I'm glad I did. Even now, even as he's in prison, being charged with all this crazy stuff, I'm still glad I watched that video, because it's forever changed the way that I think about my family, my ancestors, and the way that I get motivated to do certain things. And so now I've coined this term, the Andrew Tate dilemma, which in essence really means being unwilling to learn from somebody because you don't like who they are. Some people, it's a lot more justified. Adolf Hitler, very justified to hate that guy. Andrew Tate, if he's charged and he is convicted and it's proven he did it, absolutely, castrate him. But there's no denying that every single person, no matter how controversial, has something to teach you. They could be on the opposite spectrum of the political ideology that you subscribe to, and they can still teach you something. But it can be so hard to put that to the side and ask yourself, what can I learn from this person? To not put it aside, to not learn from them is wasteful. It's small-minded. It's like throwing out an aged wheel of cheese because there's mold around it. It's like burning your entire Harry Potter series because J.K. Rowling made some tweets that people disagree with. There's J.K. Rowling, there's the Harry Potter series. They can be separated. Leave Harry Potter alone. If there's someone you disrespect, someone you dislike, or maybe you even hate them, to disregard everything they say, everything they think because of who they are, you're stunting yourself. So in trying to get this point across, I picked one of the most controversial people I could think of. Not Andrew Tate, but at the very beginning, you remember I quoted Hitler. Am I saying that we should all go around saying, hey, I've got this great quote by Adolf Hitler? Absolutely not. Do I think we should all proudly display his quote on our wall, citing him, crediting him, memorializing him? No, that would be career suicide, social suicide. But we can look at the content matter itself, pull it aside and say, hey, this is a good message. I'm going to internalize this, and if the context is correct, I'm going to potentially use this to help myself or someone else better themselves. The whole reason I've even been thinking about all this stuff is because of the state of the world is going into. It's so divided. Cancel culture is real on any side of the political spectrum. We talk about diversity, we see the value of diversity, but when it comes to actually being diverse, we don't allow it to exist because we see someone, we see how they identify, and we reject everything that they have that they could potentially teach us. It takes a lot more work right here to sift through all the muck and decide this is true, this is good, this serves me, and ultimately makes me a better person. The challenge is to look past the person and try to understand the content matter itself. It takes a higher level of thinking to examine the content matter behind a person. And ultimately, it is totally fine to accept certain things and disagree wholeheartedly with other things from the same source. So next time you're faced with the Andrew Tate dilemma, or the Elon Musk dilemma, or the Whoopi Goldberg dilemma, or the religion, philosophy, ideology dilemma, it's all the same. Just remember, you are doing yourself a disservice by having an all or nothing mindset. Be willing to learn from anyone and anything. Suppress your initial urge to reject, subdue your biases, and truly examine the content matter. And if Andrew Tate is guilty, by the way, castrate him, imprison him. But speaking of content matter, one type of content that should always be rejected is pornography. I made a video right here about my own journey to overcoming pornography, exactly how I did it. It's very raw, very real. I encourage you to watch it. Godspeed.